Hey guys,
Hey,
yeah, it's football time, and usually I do the predictions, but I want to post this to my sports blog also and the Facebook, and I'm gonna try to get Cody Smith in here one day or something, and maybe we'll do more. But I want to get Dad on here today so we can have a little bit of debate. All right, so it's the start of the NFL season. It starts tonight. First, I want to say Super Bowl favorites. I think at the beginning of the year, if I had to choose two teams, I think we're going to be in the Super Bowl. I think the Broncos are the safe pick in the AFC, and then I would say the Seahawks are the safe pick in the NFC. But if I had to say which two teams I think are going to make it, I'm going to go with probably the Seahawks in the NFC, and Dad says the Bengals. I'd love to say the Bengals, and I really hope they do. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the New England Patriots because of their easy division, and they'll probably get a number one seed this year. But anyway, starting before we get to any of that, week one, Baltimore at Denver tonight. Dad, who you got?
well, I would like to see Baltimore win because I am not a big Peyton Manning fan, as you know, although I believe he's probably one of the best quarterbacks to play the game. But I am going to root for Denver because of the Baltimore Ravens being in the AFC North, which is my beloved Bengals conference. And if the Broncos can pull it off and beat them, which I think, I'm not going to knock Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is probably, like I said, the best quarterback. And I think that with the receiving crew that he's got, he's going to have a lot of tools to really turn to. And their defense is big and tough. It's going to be a good game, but I'll say probably Denver's going to pull this one out.
I think Denver's going to win too. I think Baltimore lost Anquan Bolden, which was a big thing. I'm not sure. I think Dennis Pitt is out for the year, and I think without Ray Lewis being there, they're going to struggle.
Oh yeah, that'd be a big
this year. I think they still got a good defense, but I think Peyton Manning's going to pick that team apart.
Suggs being gone too.
Well, he's back now.
He's back, okay.
But yeah, I think that's also in Denver. That's big, and I think they take that game. I think it's the Broncos tonight. New England at Buffalo. Who you got, Dad?
Well, I've always went with the underdog. I don't like prima donna teams. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident who's got the better team on the field. I mean, I like to see Buffalo turn an upset. I like to see them. Is Fitzpatrick still quarterback?
No, they're going to have E.J. Manuel, I think.
Okay, that's good. But how can you? Tom Brady, he's a magic man out there, and I don't think you got anybody that can do a better 2-minute drill than what he's got. He's accurate on every single throw. He can orchestrate an offense to make a drive down the field, and I'm going to have to pick. Even though I would love to see Buffalo come out again, yeah. It's obvious. It's the obvious, probably the Patriots. I'd say by at least 3 touchdowns.
I think Patriots dominate. Seahawks at Carolina.
Well, Seahawks made a big run last year. I love Wilson, their quarterback. He's very, very good at commanding his troops out there on the field. He's agile. He's able to run. I'm going to pick Seattle over.
I got Seattle too. I think Cam Newton's good, but Seattle's defense is better, and they're just a better team. All right, this is our game of the week. This for us, not actually what I think the best game is going to be. Cincinnati at Chicago.
Who dey?
All right, check this out. I think Chicago has got a great team. I think they went 10-6 last year, but they just barely missed the playoffs because the Vikings beat the Packers in the last game of the season. I think Chicago's going to give them a run for their money. Point blank, the defensive line. The game is won in the trenches, and I think on both sides of the ball, Cincinnati's got the better defensive line and offensive line. I think Brandon Marshall's a great wide receiver. Well, so is A.J. Green. I think the tight end goes to the Bengals. So I just think the Bengals, even though Jay Cutler might be a little bit better than Andy Dalton as far as just from a pure quarterback stance, I think Chicago's offensive line has got to do something, and that defensive line is ferocious for the Bengals. I think the Bengals win, and I think they win by, I'll just say a touchdown.
I think it'll be a little closer than that. I think it'll be like by field goal, based on the fact of this. You are right, Jake. You can't. Experience will always win out, and Cutter is an outstanding quarterback. I mean, he's proven himself over and over. The Bears have a tough team. but I do believe my Bengals will come up and they'll win. I'd say by at least 5 points. I'd say 5 points. The Bengals will win, a little less than a touchdown. Because of this reason, I think if you get any third-year quarterback out there, Andy Dalton is at least in the top 3 of the third-year quarterback. He's accomplished a lot. Took the Bengals to the playoffs twice in a row. Our receivers should be healthy. We got A.J. Green coming back. He's healthy. You're going to have Sanu and Jones out there. And I think our running backs are going to be tough. I don't know. I just have to say this. I think we got the best 4-down lineman defense in the NFL right now. I think it's going to be a very, very hard-fought, tough game. But like I said, I think the Bengals at least by 5.
All right, so we'll go quicker here. Miami at Cleveland.
Wow, that's going to be a good game. Because I'll tell you what, I think Cleveland is only a few players away of being an excellent team. I haven't been able to keep them, up on what they have. But you know what? I think, to be honest with you, I think Cleveland has a good chance of winning this game. And I'm going to choose Cleveland because I think Cleveland's up for a win. I think Cleveland is due a win. And I think with some of the new management they've got within the last couple of years that they're making a turnaround. And I would like to say I think and let me say this. Miami's got a tough team. Miami's got a good coaching staff, and they got a good team. But I'm going to choose Cleveland Browns over the Dolphins.
Now, both these teams beat my beloved Bengals last year, and it stunk. I'm going to choose...
Hold on, son. Bengals beat themselves both times.
Well, listen. I think that they're two teams that are similar. They're both on the up and up. They need some extra players. But given this game, I know it's at Cleveland. I'm still going to take Miami because even though both teams are decent, I think I'm going to choose the 2 quarterbacks, and I think Tannehill's a better second-year player than Whedon.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Minnesota at Detroit.
Minnesota at Detroit. Well, Detroit's got Reggie Bush now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to up their running game. Is it Bradford? Is that
No,
the quarterback? I'm sorry.
Stafford is for
Stafford, I'm sorry. Stafford, the quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But I don't think that Detroit's going to be able to pull this upset. So I'm choosing
Detroit over Minnesota.
No, I'm choosing Minnesota because
okay.
Minnesota has a lot of proven and capable veteran players that are still in the prime of their playing career, and I think that the Vikings is going to pull this out.
I think it's a defense-based game. Minnesota's got an awesome offense, but Detroit's got an awesome offense. Minnesota's got Adrian Peterson. I think if you put the game on the line, it's going to be a matter of which defense gets more turnovers, and I think Minnesota's the better team on defense, so I take Minnesota over Detroit. I think this is a pretty easy game. Oakland at Indianapolis. I'm going to take Indianapolis easily.
Well, I have to say this. Andrew Luck is probably the best 2-year quarterback they got out there. He amazed me last year. I'm not a big Colts fan, as many of you know. But I will say this, that Andrew Luck took a team that everybody was, after Peyton had left town, that everybody thought was going to be on the losing end of the stick. And he went out as a rookie and commanded his troops out there on the field. The only thing is that Detroit or that Indianapolis needs to work on is probably their weak point is their defense. I think their defense needs some work, but I do agree with you. I do pick Indianapolis to win this ball game.
All right, we'll run through these next ones pretty quick. We'll just go ahead and pick the winners. Kansas City and Jacksonville.
I'll pick Kansas City.
I will also choose Kansas City. They got Alex Smith now at quarterback. Andy Reid, new coach. I think they run over Jacksonville. Atlanta at New Orleans.
Atlanta.
I'm going to take New Orleans because it's at New Orleans. I think Atlanta is probably the better team, but this is Sean Payton's back. I'm going to choose the upset. I'm going to take New Orleans. Even though it's a slight upset, I am going to take New Orleans.
New Orleans has a good team. And Drew Brees, he can pull something out and do it with class as good as any quarterback out there in the NFL.
I just think that Superdome is going to be rocking.
But I think Atlanta has, a young quarterback out there. They're going to have Ronnie White. Gonzalez is back. They're going to have the same tools they had last year,
I agree.
and I think they're going to play tough.
I think it's going to be a tough game, but like I said, I could choose either one. I'm just going to choose the upset of New Orleans. I don't know why I chose that one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New York Jets.
Wow, that's going to be a tough one to really choose. But I will say I think that Sanchez,
He's not starting week 1.
he's not starting this time. Okay, well, then but I do think the Jets will pull it out. I think Rex Ryan he's probably worked them boys hard over the spring training or over the training camps, and I think the Jets will pull this one out.
I think the Jets are a mess. I think they don't know what they want to do. Geno Smith is starting week 1, the rookie. Tampa Bay, I think that they got Vincent Jackson, they got the muscle hamster, Doug Martin. I think they win this game. It's kind of one of those games. It's like, there are two teams that I don't think either of them pose a big threat. They're just going to be playing each other, and so I think it's going to be the Buccaneers.
I got a question for you. What was the Jets' deal when they had a good quarterback in Tebow?
Listen. Tebow is a good football player. He's not a standard quarterback, and I think that's why they let him go. But the boy wins games, guys. I hope he gets on a team.
He did. And hey, Tim, you got my vote, man. You got class about you, and you got a good witness about you. And listen, everywhere you've went, you've excelled. Everywhere you played, you've proven what you are and how you can do it. Keep your chin up. We pray that you get on a good team.
Amen. All right, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I just think it's the easy pick.
Well, I hate to do it, but I'm going to pick Pittsburgh myself. Tennessee has some issues that they have to iron out. What can you say about Pittsburgh other than thank God we got Harrison from them. But the thing is with Pittsburgh's one of these teams that even when they're down, they're good.
Yeah,
they play good and they play tough. They've got that mentality about them. Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to pull every string he can. He'll get the ball down there. He'll be hard to bring down and to take down. So I agree with you, Ronnie. I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game.
All right, this is a good game right here. Green Bay at San Francisco. I'm going to take, you know what? I'm going to take Green Bay for this reason. I think San Francisco's at home. I think they're expected to win. I think Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is definitely 1 or 2 in most people's eyes, quarterback. San Francisco does have a lot better defense, though. Oh, yeah. I'll give him that. I'm going to take, I think earlier in the day I thought definitely 49ers, but I'm going to take Green Bay based on the fact that I think it's the opener, and it's Aaron Rodgers, guys. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers.
I have to agree with you, Ronnie. Although I believe that the young quarterback, I believe the 49ers as a team is one of the powerhouses, the young powerhouses in the NFC. I think that they're going to be around a long time. They're going to be the players that they've got. And let me say this: I'm not always a Harbaugh fan, but Jim Harbaugh's a good coach, and he's got a good team. And I think that the team he's got and what they're building on, that the 49ers are going to be around for a long time. But I don't think that they're going to be able to take down the old guard, the Green Bay Packers, as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing the games that he's playing.
All right, Cardinals at Rams.
Well, I'm gonna pick the Cardinals, basically because my old boy's playing there, Carson Palmer. But it's not just that. The Cardinals have a good receiving crew, and with Carson there. Carson is a good, accurate quarterback. I'm not saying he's the best. He's not in his prime anymore. But he is a good quality quarterback. I think that's one of the good acquisitions that they made in the offseason was getting Carson in there. I think the passing game is going to have a lot to do with it. I'm not going to say they're going to win by a lot, but I will say at least by a touchdown. I'll give it to the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals just because of the receiving crew. I think the quarterback, you got Palmer, no longer in his prime, so to speak. And then you got Bradford, who is in his prime. But the receiving core is, I think outside of, St. Louis lost Amendola. And they got Tavon Austin, and he's a rookie, so no one really knows. But Arizona's got, Michael Floyd, they've got Larry Fitzgerald, and now they've got an arm that can actually throw it to them. I'm going to take the Cardinals, even though I think Palmer might even throw 2 interceptions in this game, but I still think they'll win. So I'm going to take the Cardinals also. All right, Giants at Dallas.
Oh, boy, that's going to be a good game there. But I do believe, I think you're going to have 2 top quarterbacks, Romo and Manning, going head to head with each other. But I think that Dallas is probably going to pull this one out due to the fact that I think that Dallas is going to be more hungry than the Giants at this point. Dallas is out this season because for the last couple seasons they've been the sleeping Giants, they had all the tools to be that Super Bowl contender, but it's always slid through their hands. I think they want to hit hard. They want to hit early to prove a point that they're going to be a tough contender this year, and I'm going to pick Dallas at least by 3.
All right, check this out. The Giants, I heard on ESPN earlier this week, they have, in the 4 times they've played in that stadium, the Giants have won all 4 games. With that being said, I think this is the year that Dallas ends that trend, and I think Dallas wins. I think Romo is going to silence some people this year. All right, Monday night games, you have the Eagles at the Redskins. I'm going to take the Redskins. RG3's back. And the Eagles, they're a new team with Chip Kelly as the offense. I'm not really sure how that offense is going to work out. And just based on the rosters, I think the Redskins win that game.
Me too. I think the Redskins offense is really going to light it up. And I think they're going to win that game also.
All right, last game of the week. You got the Houston Texans at the San Diego Chargers. Who do you got?
I'm going to say this. I think San Diego is going to take this game.
Wow.
I know but I think that San Diego is another one of those teams. They've got big players. They could have big highlight players. I think with a new coach, I think they're going to go out there and, like I said about Dallas, I think San Diego, they've always been 1 or 2 games out of being in the playoffs and being in the big show. I think that they're going to prove early that, especially with linebacker that they got, Teo from Notre Dame is going to really set up that middle linebacker spot there. And I think they're going to be hard to beat, and I think it'll be the Chargers.
I'm going to disagree. I think it's going to be closer because it's at San Diego. But I think Houston is clearly, on roster-wise, the better team. And I think Houston was, just a couple plays away from being on the Super Bowl team last year, I'm going to take Houston, and I'm going to say that they win by, I'll say 7 because it's at San Diego. But those are our predictions.
San Diego by 3.
Those are our predictions. Sorry we took so long, but we had fun, and we hope you guys enjoyed it too.
Go Reds! Beat the Cardinals!
That's right, and who did?